Embarrassment, anguish, low self-esteem. This past week, the Food and Drug Administration approved a promising new pill to battle baldness, but a miracle treatment it is not. When it comes to curing baldness, companies make all kinds of promises. Everything from stopping hair loss to bringing back your full head of hair. Is there any truth to these claims? Here's Chris Hansen.
My hair is very important to me. I spend about an hour and a half a day working on my hair loss.
That includes exercising upside down.
I've tried shampoos, conditioners, vitamins.
Martin J. Herco, a hair restoration consultant, will do almost anything to save his hair.
I'm pushing the temporal artery.
Scalp massages and ointments.
The cold water helps the blood supply go to the head.
Cold water rinses.
I've had surgical hair restoration. I've tried everything.
And he's not alone. Some 40 million men and 20 million women suffer from hair loss or alopecia. It's a group that spends $1.5 billion a year on surgeries, wigs, drugs, and potions. No doubt you've seen the advertisements on late-night TV.
1, 2, 3. Hair loss prevention is that easy.
Have you been bothered by the changing appearance of your hair?
Or the ads in the back of magazines. This product says its ancient Chinese formula is the key. And this brochure says fish extract is the answer. And claims on the internet are even more astounding. This site promises virtually instant results, growing hair over bald spots like a human chia pet. The Food and Drug Administration has approved just 2 drugs to be sold and advertised for maintaining hair or making hair grow. Minoxidil, commonly known as Rogaine, and recently approved Propecia, available in mid-January. But these only promise hair growth for some people. So how can all these other companies be making such aggressive claims? It seems they found a creative way of getting around FDA rules by marketing their products as cosmetics instead of drugs. Dateline decided to look at 2 products to investigate if they claim hair growth and see if they really deliver on their promises. Hair Farming, which says it has the fastest results.
See results in minutes.
There's one shampoo.
And Nioxin, which claims to be the fastest growing product sold in salons.
This is Nioxin, the world of living hair.
Nioxin says it nourishes healthy new growth for people experiencing hair loss by replenishing nutrients and removing toxins from the scalp. Treatments cost between $40 and $80 a month.
We think we have the most superior product in the world. That's encouraging. I'd like to see some.
12 years ago, Roy and Eva Bashforth founded Nioxin, carefully describing it as a non-drug alternative for people with thinning hair. The Bashforths insisted on having members of Nioxin's medical advisory board at our interview, and they arranged for us to meet 3 of their hair growth success stories. The first, a client with male pattern balding.
This is really quite remarkable. If you can catch
Roy Bashforth says the hair we see in this area is the result of a new and experimental treatment his company is now testing. And Nioxin claims it also gets impressive results with products already on the market. The company provided this man and this woman Nioxin employees. We had met them earlier in the year at a trade show. Both were completely bald, they said, because they suffer from a medical condition called alopecia universalis.
Nioxin changed my life.
Today, they boast about the remarkable heads of hair regrown by Nioxin.
So you're saying that you can promote hair growth?
First of all, I'm not saying that because we're not permitted to say that we can promote hair growth. That's a drug claim, and we are a cosmetic company by choice.
Bashforth says he made the choice to market his product as a cosmetic rather than a drug because getting FDA approval is an expensive gamble. His product would be taken off the shelves during the rigorous testing period, and there's no guarantee that Nioxin would ultimately be approved, a position supported by Bashforth's medical panel.
First of all, it'll probably take him hundreds of millions of dollars and be off the market for 10 years, if ever. I mean, my God, it doesn't make sense.
Bashforth says he has his own studies proving his product works, but he'd rather not share it with the FDA. So without providing any independent studies, is the company reaping huge profits from the suggestion that Nioxin makes hair grow?
Does Nioxin grow hair?
I cannot say that. I would say Nioxin does not claim to grow hair.
Does not grow hair?
I said it does not claim to grow hair.
Oh, really? We saw hair growth claims everywhere on Nioxin bottles. Encourage healthy hair growth. Nourish healthy new growth. The company made claims on its website. Be patient. Make a commitment of 3 to 6 months before evaluating for new growth. Hair growth claims even popped up on the sign behind Roy Bashforth.
The poster behind you says growing hair and a business.
If you read the poster correctly, the poster also says growing the hair business.
Growing hair
And business.
and business.
If Bashforth won't say Nioxin grows hair, then why was he showing us people who seem to recover hair as proof that his product works? We took a closer look at Nioxin's so-called success stories.
I can't tell you about this treatment because it's secret.
The first man who Bashforth provided wasn't even using a Nioxin product currently available to the public, and the company would not give us any more information than that. And what about the 2 company employees? Well, they did have dramatic results, but not, as it turns out, necessarily from using Nioxin. Half a dozen dermatologists told Dateline that these people suffer from a rare medical disorder called alopecia universalis that can spontaneously grow back an entire head of hair with no help from hair products.
And this is what Nioxin did for me.
Nioxin refused to provide any studies to support its hair growth claims.
It's the revolutionary hair farming program.
And Nioxin is not the only company suggesting it grows hair. Listen to this woman's creative pitch.
You advertise hair in 20 minutes,
Hair will emerge in 20 minutes' time.
full head of hair under every scalp.
I believe so, of all different lengths.
This is Jacqueline Sable, cosmetologist, inventor of hair farming, and president of Contessa Cosmetics, a company she says has earned millions over the past few years.
Which deep clean your scalp.
For $160 a month, Sable says her special cleansing formula can free trapped hair from under the scalp. That's how Sable says she got all her luxurious hair.
If you clean the debris above it, it'll emerge because it's been trapped.
Sable even demonstrated on 2 hair-challenged but hopeful subjects. Both men were given haircuts.
Would you say that's fair?
Measurements and photographs were taken. Then the hair farming formula was applied.
I have doctors' affidavits that have done testing. I've done 2 double-blind studies. I have major dermatologists joining me. This is for real.
5 minutes had passed, and Jacqueline said it was already working.
Where'd all this hair come from that I'm pulling here? And look how long it is.
So you're saying that this is new hair?
As we're talking, it's sprouting.
Notice she used the word sprouting, not growing.
That's a possibility. So we are definitely not growing hair. It's got to be sprouting because it's coming from underneath the surface of the scalp.
Innocent people can go in and buy products that very clearly list that they're going to regrow hair when there's no scientific study to back it up.
Dr. Deborah Jelliman is a New York dermatologist who has no affiliations with any companies selling hair growth products, although she does sell her own private line of skincare treatments. She says companies like Nioxin and hair farming are making fortunes because the FDA isn't enforcing its own hair growth policies.
I think the FDA, in fact, doesn't regulate these over-the-counter hair loss products, and in effect, it's really a problem.
The FDA refused an on-camera interview, but said that any company selling a product claiming to grow hair without FDA approval could be shut down. But since the FDA first came up with guidelines 8 years ago, it has only taken a handful of manufacturers to court and sent out a few warning letters. It has never closed a hair growth product company. So it would seem that companies like Nioxin and hair farming have little to worry about from the FDA.
There's your proof right there.
20 minutes had passed, and Sable said she had farmed even more new hair.
I
What
didn't
appears
know
to be.
nothing. The hair pushed its way out.
But if that's true, why did she need mascara?
But aren't you making it look thicker by putting that mascara
No,
on?
I'll take it off. I just made a couple of hairs darker. Here's a comb. Enjoy yourself.
These are our before and after pictures of Sable's demonstration. Can you see any new farmed hair?
Now, when you say sprouting hair,
Here, take a look.
don't you think a lot of people take that to mean growing hair?
No.
Since the FDA says it's too understaffed to investigate every company claiming to grow hair, many times the job is left up to state agencies, such as the case with Jacqueline Sable.
Have you ever seen someone so brazen, so brash in her attitude?
She is tough. She's right up there with the top.
Florida Assistant State Attorney Bob Julian recently filed a civil suit against Jacqueline Sable. He says she lies about her scientific proof, and hair farming is nothing more than expensive shampoo.
What was the most outrageous claim that was made by Jacqueline Sable?
Probably that the doctors at the University of North Carolina discovered that there was a full head of hair underneath the scalp of a bald cadaver.
We peeled back the scalp on cadaver and proved there was hair in the clogged follicles.
But that's not exactly what the doctor who oversaw the project told investigators about Sable. Her discovery and theory on hair growth was incorrect and ridiculously absurd. And what about the doctor named in this January 1997 advertisement who allegedly endorses hair farming?
Who is Anthony DiPremio?
He's another doctor that was working along with us.
Medical doctor?
A medical doctor, as far as I understand it. He's a PhD.
What if I told you that Dr. Anthony DiPremio's PhD is in economics?
It may be. I never claimed he was a dermatologist.
You just told me a minute ago that he was a medical doctor.
But I thought he was a medical doctor.
Dateline obtained these letters written over 2 years ago by Dr. DiPremio, demanding that Jacqueline Sable stop using his name to endorse her product. We asked Dr. DiPremio for a comment. He declined our offer. As for the ad with his name, Sable says she never authorized it and doesn't know how it ended up in this magazine.
Hey, Miss Sable, you're charged with.
Weeks before our interview, Sable was charged with theft. A dozen investors say she stole nearly $400,000 from them, and that wasn't the first time. Amazingly, 6 years ago, she was convicted of defrauding investors with another hair growth product.
You are currently facing civil and criminal charges.
A lot of inventors go that way over the years. Anybody with something new goes through this kind of persecution.
One thing I've learned in this business is that there's always another scammer, and there's always somebody to take, a scammer's place.
And as long as people like Martin J. Herco are obsessed with restoring their lost hair, critics say companies may continue to profit on their unproven potions until the FDA decides to stop them.
It's really hope in a bottle. People will pay the money hoping to affect the change they want. Because people are really desperate when it comes to growing hair.
Since our interview, Nioxin has changed its website. It no longer claims its product will grow hair. As for the new drug Propecia, approved last week by the government for hair growth, it's for men only. Clinical studies show it can cause birth defects when used by women.
Coming up, 1 year later.
Tomorrow Never Dies, Agent 007 takes on a nasty piece of weaponry that could leave his head spinning, quite literally. And it's got moviegoers going in circles trying to figure out how'd they do that. Here's Lynn Cannon with our Dateline State of the Art.
Bond. James Bond.
For a secret agent, James Bond isn't exactly known for being discreet. And as expected, Tomorrow Never Dies keeps 007 right on target and razor sharp.
The helicopter comes down and it just goes for us. They tip the blades and the blades become death incarnate. But being James Bond, I save the day, save the girl, and get out of the situation.
But it turns out, thanks to some killer special effects, the real James Bond isn't living nearly as close to the edge as we may have thought. In fact, not at all.
There's no blades on the helicopter. That is a good thing. No, thank you very much. That's a very good thing. I like my life too much.
Okay, stand by. Clear now.
It seems the filmmakers do too. In order to keep Pierce Brosnan and the Vietnamese set from becoming chop suey, they built a mock version of a chopper on location, complete with everything but the blades. The rig was mounted on a hydraulic crane that could be driven through the set, tipping almost 90 degrees along the way. But the greatest challenge of using a bladeless helicopter on location would be getting the right look and feel on the set, basically shaken and stirred. Giant wind machines would help out some, but the real blast came when the pyrotechnics crew set charges along the length of the street. These tiny explosions on film would appear to be the work of those invisible blade tips.
Okay, this is a full-size helicopter shot on set.
But if you think James Bond has great gadgets, wait till you see his.
I created the computer-generated blades for the helicopter.
Tom Wood is the creative director at one of London's really secret services, behind the scenes at Cinesight Digital Film Center.
The next process is to incorporate the blades into the shot. We do that by using the three-dimensional software to animate computer-generated blades that will fit the scene.
After the blades are created in the computer, they're put into motion and layered over the original film footage and over 007.
Animating them to just skim his stubble. A very close shave.
With toys like these, it's no wonder James Bond seems to stay young forever.
Grow up, 007.
You may have noticed a lot of advertisers jumping on the Bond wagon this time around. Some have products prominently featured in Tomorrow Never Dies, like the BMW Bond drives and the Smirnoff vodka he drinks. And it's not cheap to trade on 007's image. The cost of all those cross-promotional advertisements, more than $100 million. That's about what it cost to make the movie.